Hey guys, I'm gonna wait for maybe one or two people to come in here, but agenda now. I'm gonna start with the agenda. We're doing Watson take. Basically, start with the Watt take, and then kind of go from there. One would be Watson, and then we'll go into. So yeah, basically, I'm just doing football talk, guys. Feel free to list what your thoughts are. Feel free to list your takes. There we go. Now we can get going. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was Watson and what the heck these guys are doing with him. They're lowering his trade value the longer they wait because teams know he doesn't want to play. So I don't think they're being smart with this. He does have a no trade clause, which I think he needs to be more flexible on because I don't think the Jets are going to make a bigger offer than they've already made. And I don't know. He's just not going to play until they use him. But I'm saying, like, the no trade clause, he can go where the heck he wants. I'm pretty sure he'd play for either one of the better teams, but he said the Dolphins don't seem to want him. That's where he wants to go. So, and the Jets, I don't think that they can actually trade unless they trade their draft pick and maybe a few other things. So yeah, Watson isn't going to go to the Jets or the Dolphins is my take. He's going to go to a team that's already a contender, that has the trade assets. I don't think that the Niners are going to get him, and I wish they could have, but because I'm a 49er fan. But I will say, I'm just trying to figure out where they would go. I thought the Colts would have been a great place to go get him, but they got somebody else. I'll go into that later. But I honestly think they're being stupid. If they're offered a first round pick, or in a second round pick, or a first round pick and a really good player, I think that they can work with that. I think that they should take it. They need to rebuild. Is what they need to do, and they need. I heard there was an offer involving where the Panthers were offering. It's just a rumor. I'm not sure it's true that the Panthers were offering McCaffrey for him. Why do you think you take that deal? You got a quarterback who won't play, and we get a running back that could literally do it all except pass the ball. I don't understand why they didn't take that offer. Maybe there were. I think there was a draft pick, trading some draft picks involved that would have benefited the Texans. I don't know what they're thinking. Bill O'Brien really screwed up that team and made Watson not want to play. And Watson loves the game. So that's my take. I'm thinking he's going to go. I think he might look into. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking he'd go to like a division that's not as stacked where he can actually just dominate the division. So I see why he wants to go to like the Patriots division, but like I guess the Bills are there. But my point is he needs to go to an easy division where he can still win. And I think he wants to go to the AFC, but they won't trade him to the AFC. I think he wants to get back at the Texans somewhere. So maybe he goes to some team in that division with like and like their own division. They would never do that, but so he's probably going to go to the NFC is my take. I need more information before I pick specific teams. And next would be my notes I wrote Wilson. Russell Wilson recently has said that he would welcome trade, especially after he even addressed to the GM and looks like the owners, like the front office, that he wants an O-line and that he wants more weapons and like for them to draft better and to get higher draft picks and stuff, like more youth on the team, I think, and more protection to go with him and Metcalf. But they just totally like dismissed it, is the report, and he's angry. So I wouldn't say angry. He's just kind of irritated. So he's saying like he would go to a few different teams, including the Raiders, which I don't think is smart if he wants an O line. You saw those people running for the. I guess they have an O line. There was the Raiders, Cowboys, and Saints, I believe. There was one other team mixed in there, but I do not recall what that team was. But yeah, I'm thinking Russell Wilson getting traded. That would be, dude. That'd be insane. That guy's been there for like basically his whole entire career, and won a Super Bowl and and also he's won one of the two Super Bowls there, and he's won one Super Bowl on two Super Bowl appearances. That's pretty dang good. But I think that team also just needs to rebuild. Should have rebuilt around. They need to get an understudy there, I think. But yeah. On to Big Ben. I think he should just retire, and if not, they should draft a QB this year and mentor, and so he can mentor an actual, like maybe they trade up for a QB or something like that, because they were a pretty high seed. I don't know how they're going to do it, but like maybe you find something to trade up and get a younger quarterback, and from there and actually I'm talking about a top 15 quarterback, a top 15 pick. So one of the first quarterbacks, so one of the first 7 quarterbacks off the draft usually, but make sure it's a good one. And make it so it's somebody that can learn, like someone who's smart and maybe and can actually scramble more, because that was Big Ben's problem this year, was their running game. Get a mobile quarterback in the draft. But I heard that Mac Jones would be later in the draft, so that's what I've heard. It would be kind of. I think he's like in the double digits. I don't think he's in the top 9. So that's what I've heard according to many mock drafts. I'm not sure how accurate they are, but Mel Kiper's pretty revered. So I just think they need a younger quarterback, and maybe you could teach that quarterback a few things, but I don't know. I think the good news for him is I believe Watt would restructure his contract to go there. If J.J. Watt stays healthy alongside T.J. Watt, and they have that guy Derek Watt at fullback, dude, the 3 Watt brothers, I'm pretty sure he's going to sign with the Steelers. That's one of his options of people who want him, and the only way, and you could get him on a minimum contract. I personally think that they need to rebuild though, but I think that's going to happen. Now it would be cool, but they need actually they shouldn't be in win now mode. I know that Mike Tomlin's never done worse than 8-8, but he needs a youthful quarterback and actually a running back besides James Conner, who's a flash in the pan for 1 year, and last year he was terrible. He did deal with some injuries last year, but still, I don't think he was that good. I mean, they got their butts kicked in that game against the Browns. They need a lot of things, and they have such high-paid players that it's going to be tough to do. I don't really think all of them are going to reconstruct their contracts. It's pretty tough to do. You can't force that. The contract is what it is. And now on to Wentz. I don't think that the Colts won this trade. Time will tell. I think Brissett's about the same level as Wentz. I guess Wentz, when he has an O-line, is good, but I feel like he's lost all confidence. I think for Wentz at this point, ever since that injury, it's been a mental thing. I'm going to use an example that I guess that's a common example, but I think when I think of it, I think more of the show All American. I know that's fake and everything, but when you think about it, it's for example, it was all in his head. He was playing with this quarterback was hit hard and had to get ambulance carried off the field in whatever those table things and a gurney, and then he joined, and then the guy who hit him joined the team. It was just all in his head. He was worried well, am I gonna get it brought flashbacks. It's a mental thing. I think that's what Wentz needs. He needs to go see a therapist or something, but or get a something to just get a fresh start. I think so I'm not sure he's and part of he doesn't get rid of the ball. I think and when he does, he's panicking. So I don't know. I feel like Jalen Hurts, a rookie quarterback, did well in that system. So that goes to show you it's partially Wentz, because Wentz has legs. He just doesn't. He's just afraid to use them. He can't be afraid to use his legs in the NFL. You got to at least scramble inside the pocket, like try and brush off tackles. Instead, he just continues to take hits, or he doesn't make reads. He panics when taking reads. So, granted, his O-line had a lot of injuries last year, but still, a rookie quarterback did better than him, who was picked in this late second round. So, sorry, I got an itch. And then on to Cam. I think he's done as a starting quarterback. He says he's better than 32 NFL quarterbacks. I put him even I think Jameis Winston. People complain about him, but at least I think he could still be molded. I don't think Cam can be molded, and I think his body's just done. He ran the ball well last year, but he also threw a crap ton of interceptions, especially considering he missed games. So I don't think Cam is a good quarterback anymore. He might be better than as a backup, but I'm not sure that any team really wants him. He said he wants to be a starter or nothing, basically, and I think he should just worry about being a backup. I mean, look at Chad Henne. He almost got a ring this year. Jameis Winston, I feel like, is learning really well from good people. He hasn't had, but Cam had a chance to learn from Belichick. So there's a difference between learning from Belichick and it not working, and I'm seeing growth from Jameis Winston, who had both Bruce Arians 1 year, and next year he had Sean Payton. So and also he got to learn from Drew Brees. With Sean Payton, he also had Drew Brees to teach him, and Taysom Hill showed him how to scramble, I guess, too. That's going to be interesting. But basically, I'm comparing and saying Jameis Winston has more upside than Cam Newton. I think that's time you're a backup. I think there are quarterbacks like Gardner Minshew that he's not as good as, or he's worse than Teddy Bridgewater, who I'd say Teddy Bridgewater is an all-right starter, but yeah. But my point is, he's if so, he'd be a pretty bad starter and one you need to replace as soon as possible. That's Cam. I don't think he should keep playing. If so, it'd be a backup, kind of like an RG3 on the Ravens. That's what level I put him at, which is kind of sad that both those guys have fallen. Both due to injury, partially because they've run the football constantly. All right. Lastly, I'm going to go into Dak Prescott. If he takes the franchise tag this year, it's $37 million. I don't know why they don't just give him a $40 million a year salary. It's just an extra $3 million. What's that in terms of Jerry Jones and that team? I mean, you gave Ezekiel Elliott the money, and you also back years ago you were giving giant contracts to Tony Romo, who was always injured and was known to choke at the worst possible timing. But they won't give it to Dak, who's a young quarterback with a ton of upside, who's actually very efficient and knows and has his teammates behind him. So you're turning away the whole team too by doing this. And the funny thing is, after this year's franchise tag, he get paid in the $50 million, 53 point something million, and so they're just they can't do franchise tag forever. I hope, I hope the best for Dak. I hope he gets that big contract. He deserves that job security. Maybe somewhere else where they can actually win. That would be interesting. So those are my takes on the offseason, part 1. This is just episode 1. Let me know suggestions of players I can do, or off-season stuff I can do, or I can just keep going like this. All right. Peace. Hope to do this again.